Good evening, everybody. This is Maria from Barefoot Holistic, live with you in mind, with our special guest all the way from America. I'd like to welcome Kami. I've forgotten it already. Velasquez,
Yes.
to our live stream this evening. Glad you're back. Yay! Welcome, Kami. Namaste. Welcome.
Namaste.
Welcome. Welcome
Thank you so much.
I don't know who else is on. Somebody put kisses. Hi, Kami.
Well, hello. So
Hello,
happy
everybody.
that you guys could join us.
So I brought the laptop outside today because it's so hot indoors. It's 7 p.m. now, so we've got a little bit of shade out here. But so I'd like to introduce the Kami. She is my beautiful, special friend I've known for many, many years now. God, must be 2012, I think, when we met, Kami.
Yeah, we met on that board for global peace, right?
Yes, and then you came into my group, Vibrational Changes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's from there, from Michael's group. Yeah.
Hi, Mika.
Yeah. Hi. Welcome, Mika. Welcome, Marion. Welcome, George.
Hi, Amber.
Welcome, Amber.
There's a lot of friends. Yay.
Yeah. Hi, Kathy, my friend Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
So, Kami, we've been on a long journey together this last few years.
Yes.
And you're pretty amazing. You blow my... Sorry?
We've been through so much, both of us.
Yeah. And it's just amazing to see how far you've come now, Kami. It's like, I don't know, it makes my heart sing. It really makes my heart sing watching everything that you're doing. So Kami is a Ayurveda. What's the word?
I am in graduate school to become a Maharishi Ayurvedic wellness and integrative medicine practitioner. I'm 2/3 of the way through, almost. About to start my clinical intensives tomorrow. And we just finished studying the respiratory system this quarter, and now we're on to the ears, nose, and throat this week. But it's fascinating, it's wonderful, and it is like the continuation and validation of that I've been learning my whole entire life since I was a little girl, because my parents taught me how to meditate when I was 5 years old. And the difference with this branch of Ayurveda and many of the other branches, especially here in the West, is that it is consciousness based. It was brought here by Mahesh Yogi Maharishi and Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and he started the Transcendental Meditation movement, which I learned Transcendental Meditation about a month before my course began, and my whole life has become transformed from this. I mean, like everything has gotten so much better. It is unbelievable. I was in a really rough space, and things are just opening up. I'm in a new space, moved right before the pandemic started, and using these techniques to heal myself. So help share this with others.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Did anybody do the quiz that we posted in the event?
I'm not sure, but I'll just go ahead and launch into a little explanation of the doshas.
Hi, Gillian. Morning, Gillian. If anybody's got any questions at any point, just post them and I'll put them on the screen for Kami to see. Yeah, if you want to explain a bit about the doshas, yeah, I can do that.
Well, Gillian has a baby and she's also in my course.
Oh, congratulations, Gillian.
Yeah, she's really beautiful. So the thing about the doshas is that, okay, so when we meditate, we go into the unified field, and the unified field is this space from which all the laws of nature arise. All the 5 elements of earth, air, fire, water, and space arise from this unified field, and the 3 doshas arise from that, which is Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Vata is comprised of air and space, which is Vayu and Akash. Pitta is comprised of fire and water, which is Tejas apas, and kapha is comprised of earth and water, which is prithvi and apas. Okay, so everything in the universe is made of those three doshas, and every single one of us, of course, is therefore made of these three doshas. But most people are predominantly one dosha, or maybe two. Like me, I am a vata person, and those two doshas kind of fight for dominance in my physiology. And
Yeah,
a lot of people have
mine came out as three.
three.
Yeah, and was it the Vata? I can't remember what I told you now.
Vata,
Was the
Pitta,
most,
Kapha.
I can't remember. I'd have to bring it back up again. But Vata was, I think it was 36%, and then the rest were just slightly lower.
Okay, so which one was 60%?
The Vata, whichever one it was.
Vata. That makes a lot of sense. So insomnia, having an irregular routine, a lot of mental activity and things like that, that goes along with Vata, because Vata rules air and space, and prana is what, that's our breath in, and it is actually a sub-dosha, which I'm not going to explain all the sub-doshas today. We don't have time or anything like that, but every single dosha has also its set of sub-doshas, which correspond with different systems in the body. The pranavaha sub-dosha brings in the air, and it's also brings in the intelligence. And so that it brings in the oxygen to every single cell. It brings it into our lungs and into every single cell. And so when our doshas are out of balance, that starts to cause like relation of energy in one of the doshas or another. So each one of the doshas has specific qualities that go along with it. So Vata is rough, brittle, moving like the wind, cold and hard. And then Pitta is flowing, warm, liquid, pungent, slightly oily. And and Vata is bitter. And then Kapha is dense, heavy, smooth, soft, and regular. So it's got like a steadiness about it. So Kapha provides the structure, cohesion, and lubrication in our bodies, and Vata provides the intelligence and the transportation of energy through your cells, and the transportation of waste out of your body. And then Pitta is the transformation. So it transforms the food into energy, transforms, the excess into the waste and all of that. And Pitta out of balance leads to inflammation. Vata out of balance leads to like insomnia and pain, and Kapha out of balance leads to depression and congestion and things like that. So colds are related to Kapha out of balance.
Okay.
And
yeah, that makes sense.
So when you have a cold, it's important to avoid the substances that will aggravate kapha. So sweet things, heavy cold foods, leftovers, and things like that. Those are the types of foods that stick inside of your microbiome and lead to ama. And ama is undigested food. It's also toxins, and it remains in little parts of your microbiome, and then it kind of creates a leaky gut situation, and then the toxins can leak into your bloodstream and into your other organs. But that can be healed. And the neat thing about Ayurveda is that you can incorporate these changes little bit by little bit into your life, so that it just become fun.
Well, it's interesting because I'm on the 6th day of no sugar today. Well, when I say no sugar, what I actually mean is no sugar in my tea, because being British, I drink lots of tea. So I've taken the sugar out and replacing it with honey. But I'm still a chocoholic, and I have to have at least one bit of chocolate a day. So
I love chocolate too, but I don't have it every single day. But I love dark chocolate especially.
No, I don't like dark chocolate. But
apparently
yeah,
chocolate though is one of the things that also leads to ama, but so they recommend carob instead. But it's just one of my little guilty pleasures that I still indulge in
yeah,
sometimes.
me too. I mean, I love carob too, but I've got carob stirrer, which I use in cakes.
Well, I
Instead
like
of,
cacao. I like the dark chocolate that's like 70% cacao. That's what I like.
anyway, sorry, I was just thought that was really interesting. Right, it might have been the higher self getting us ready for today.
Yes, and so like when we replace our unhealthy habits with good habits, it just changes everything. And routine makes such a huge difference. So going to bed early and waking up early makes an enormous difference. Every section of the day is divided up into the doshas as well,
Oh,
which is
interesting.
very interesting. So between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., those are the vata hours. I mean 6 a.m. Sorry, 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. are vata hours. 6 a.m. to 10 is the kapha time, and 10 to 2 is pitta time, and then on and on. It keeps recirculating like that. And so when you rise before 6 a.m. during the vata time of the day, and it helps infuse your mind with clarity, because
Yeah,
air and space are ruling right then. When you wake up after
yeah,
that time, it's harder to wake up. You just want to go back to baby, because it's which is actually the first part of our first 30 years of our lives are the kapha time, and then from 30 to 60 are the pitta years, and then 60 on, those are the vata years, when there's just
okay.
more air and space, and so that's why things start to dry out. But one of the wonderful things, one of the most wonderful techniques that helps me so much and helps boost my immune system is after I do my gargling with coconut oil. It's called gandusha, and that really helps a lot. I rub the oil all over my body. I make a mixture myself with some olive oil and coconut oil. Sesame oil is the best, but it's pretty expensive to do that all
Yeah,
the time right now. But anyway, depending on your dosha type, different oils are better for you. It's really helpful to have a practitioner to consult with,
yeah.
because just taking the quiz is helpful and you can figure things out on your own. But what a practitioner does, and I'm not one yet, but I know a lot about the physiology since I've been
Yeah,
a massage therapist for 17 years.
yeah,
And so it's just what I study as a hobby, and I study nutrition as a hobby, like, because also I want to keep improving my own health and help my family and friends and clients. And so anyway, with the Abhyanga, I've noticed that the more time I take with this and put more oil on myself, the better I feel. And
yeah,
if I start to have pain in my neck or whatever, and I've had that neck surgery 13 years ago almost, it helps me so much. And castor oil is super excellent, and also an oil that helps for detoxing the lungs. And
yeah,
on my business page, there's a link for a method for that my son sent to me, which involves using a cloth poultice with like 8 ounces or even more of castor oil, and like
yeah,
warmed up and put there, so that like pulls the toxins out. And
yeah.
like, I quit smoking cigarettes again for the 50,000th time, but forever now. I guess
Well
it was
done.
3 weeks ago.
Well
And
done.
so I've been I didn't actually do the poultice yet, but I've been just putting extra camphor. I put like a poultice with eucalyptus and lavender. And then I put the Vicks over that, because I read that you're not really supposed to put the Vicks directly on there too often or anything, because it's too strong with the menthol and camphor in there. And
Yeah.
especially if you're experiencing some sensitivity, which I was, and my lungs were very mad at me. And they
Yeah,
were
mine are
like,
the same.
if you
I
don't
think
stop
I think
now,
I
you're
think
not
I've
going to
got
be around.
COPD. I think I've got COPD now, Cami,
But I think
because when I
when
take
I
the
was
dogs
thinking, me
out,
too.
we go down the back down the river. It's a slight hill, but it's not anything massive.
Hmm.
It could be the heat as well, but I get to the top and I'm panting for 20 minutes. Cast, um,
But yeah, I think that I was too, but you can get better. You can definitely get better. And
Well,
you know, this pandemic happening and COVID-19 being a serious acute respiratory illness or severe acute respiratory syndrome is such a really great motivation to actually never again because they're so harmful. And
I
it's,
know.
I started again always at times of great stress, Maria.
Me
um
too.
it doesn't help the stress, it only makes
Yeah.
it worse. And one thing I wanted to mention is before we do the guided chakra balancing exercise, because I see it's already 11:22, is that
It's all right.
really important to forgive ourselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just give ourselves a break. In Ayurveda, we talk about how all imbalances are related to pragya aparat, which is mistake of intellect. And a lot of times this is because also of the pragya aparat of society, of the society we live in, of the lack of support we might have,
Yeah.
and having to do it on our own, things like that. And these feelings that are just so overwhelming. And for me, since the transcendental meditation helped me a lot, to where I was like, I kept quitting and then starting again, but then I just like go back to my practice, and then also keep affirming to myself that I am worthy of letting go of that
Oh,
habit, and I love myself, and
yeah.
I forgive myself for not taking good enough care of myself many, many times over the years. And I know that led to some of the challenges that I've had to deal with.
Yeah.
And some part of me like seems to want this challenge of like, let's see how bad it can get and then have a miraculous healing.
Yeah, because we're warriors. We're not scared of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can have just like one healthy cell left and then bring that light to the whole rest of your body.
Yeah.
And our eyes, this is something that we were studying this week that I just want to share. It's just so beautiful. Our eyes are like the suns of our physiology. They bring the light into our whole body. And we are little universes, of course.
We are.
And I think
Absolutely.
that it's just so, so wonderful. So
I'm just
to get ready for the exercise.
thinking to Aaron's quote there. Well done, Aaron, on healing from staph infection.
Oh, yes,
Um,
my son. Yes.
is this your son?
Yeah, that's my son.
Oh,
I told
hi, Aaron.
you, Aaron. He's
I
such
hear
a
so much about you.
I made a little healing salve with just coconut oil and tea tree, and that helped my grandson get rid of a staph infection. And then he used castor oil recently to
Yeah.
get rid of a rash he got from working at Sonic with the gloves on. And he says he's
Mm.
allergic to the Cinnabons.
Uh,
But he's my little warrior. He'd been working through this whole thing, taking precautions when he gets home, and taking off his clothes, jumping in the shower, washing his masks. So I'm proud of him.
yeah.
So, but
Okay, let's get to it. What are we doing? A
I,
chakra meditation.
yes,
Do people need to grab paper and pen or anything?
no,
No?
just sit and take a few deep breaths. And I'm going to just do the Tibetan singing bowl for just a couple of little tiny bits, just to
Yeah.
help the mood. Okay. Okay. So take some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and visualize yourself being in your higher self sanctuary in your upper heart chakra. This is your golden self. You are your golden self, yourself which is perfect and golden just as God made you. And we're going to visualize roots coming out of the bottom of your feet, connecting to the crystal core of Gaia, and a cord of light at the top of the head, connecting us to the central sun. Okay, so we're going to visualize that light coming in through the top of the body and pouring in through the crown chakra, wrapping around the crown chakra, Sahasrara, and then around the third eye chakra, Visuddha, and then around the throat chakra, Asma. Yeah, Asma. And then the heart chakra, Anahata. And then the solar plexus chakra, Muladhara. And then the sacral chakra, Svatisthana. And then the root chakra, Manipura. We're going to really, really focus on this root chakra because of the collective anxiety that's going on right now. Want to visualize our adrenal glands and put them on release, because this anxiety, this global anxiety, is causing our adrenal glands to be on overactive. They're on overdrive. And let's just set them on release and visualize your sciatic nerve attaching to this grounding cord so your whole entire nervous systems can just drain. Just like a bucket of water. This is a technique from my teacher, Reverend Julie Renee. Visualize a bucket of water and then pull that cork out of the bottom of it. And just like that bucket of water is draining so beautiful, just imagine the nervous system draining, just draining, and all of that excess energy going into the earth, and anything that is dark, any blockages and dark energy, just visualize a golden dumpster so that all of that can go there, because Gaia's got a lot going on right now, but she's healing. We've had to step, she's healing. So as we visualize our root chakra, which is red, it is our place of connection with community. It is that which keeps us connected to the earth and to the electrical grid that we walk in for our whole entire lives. Let us visualize taking a rose, a golden rose, and close off that rose, and let's wipe that chakra clean. Wipe it clean and help to get rid of any fear and anxiety, any worries about not being good enough, worries about lack, about not having enough. Let's wipe those clean and let them be released to that golden dumpster. And keep breathing in golden light, breathing in sun and stars, and breathing out black smoke. Letting it go. Breathing in that good prana, breathing out the black smoke. That light is continuing to pour in through the tops of our heads. Our crown chakras are opening up very, very wide now, like 1,000-petaled lotus flower, just opening. We are golden. And this light is balancing all of our chakras and helping us to be very, very grounded and rooted and connected to each other, heart to heart and soul to soul. Our angels are protecting us. They are surrounding us and celebrating our connections, celebrating our work, celebrating our love for each other, our love for humanity, our love for ourselves. And now we're going to bring up golden and red and green clay from the earth. Open up our root chakra very, very fully, and the channels in our legs, and let our legs just fill up with that earth energy, that beautiful, beautiful energy from Gaia, our mother, she who loves us so much. And this earth energy is filling us up all the way to our shoulders, and it's just washing away all the pain. And it's just pouring out, just as the central sun energy is healing us and pouring through us into the earth. The earth energy is lifting up through us and just pouring out, just cleansing us. And as we visualize this healing, and as we conclude, we'll go ahead and close up our feet and just, we'll go ahead and keep a little bit of this crown chakra energy always coming, but if we leave it wide open all the time, it's going to be too much. And so we're going to go ahead and partially close it, but keep ourselves always connected to Source as we give thanks for the healing, guidance, and love from our unseen allies, from our angels, from the bodhisattvas, from the master teachers and ascended masters, Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Krishna and Radha, Shiva. Of course, I'm adding gods and goddesses. Shiva and Parvati and Ganesha, and Kali and Ishtar. We are all radiant beings of light. We are all connected in love and light. We are all always safe. Golden pyramid of light around each and every one of us. Merkaba around us. We will continue to walk in beauty and in love and in light all the days of our lives. So many thanks. Namaste. Blessed be. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't know if everybody's back.
I wanted it to be kind of brief, and I didn't practice.
No, it's fine. It was beautiful. Thank you. I thought I was getting eaten alive. When you watch it back, you'll be laughing because I'm constantly hitting myself because I'm getting eaten alive by flies out here.
Oh, bless your heart.
We have these little tiny flies that actually bite you. Horrible.
Oh, yes. Do you have a smudge stick or something to help with that?
Yeah, I'm going to go get some spray. I'll let you.
I started crying.
I know, I could feel it. I was like, no, stop it. You'll get me crying.
Well, I love meditating quite a bit. And then I also like doing guided visualizations and exercises. So we were going to also do a little question and answer set and more time than I thought. I must be in some kind of a little bit of a time warp zone because it went by.
Well, you took over before I could introduce you. That's why. She was going to talk a little bit about your journey and stuff first, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's right.
As it flows, it's fine. As it flows, and that's fine. I just love it.
Really excited.
Sorry?
I was a little bit overly excited. So yeah, I did want to talk a little bit about my journey and what led me to this course. And well, my parents taught me to meditate when I was 5 years old. They discovered this. They were following this teacher called Bapak. a group called Subud, and they used to meditate and speak in tongues, and it was called Latihan. And that was my first introduction. And then when I got a little bit older, they joined this church called the Holy Order of Mans, and they were in that for several years. And that was like a Pauline Catholic church, which believed in really taking the words of Jesus literally.
Okay.
Women as well. And they had a process of a ceremonial illumination, where they would lay their hands on the people, and their bodies would be filled with light. And they also taught me how to meditate and fill my body with light. And then when I got older, my mother started following Leonard Orr, and he had just come back from India from studying with Babaji. And my mother took me up to Northern California with my sister and my daughter, and well, actually 2 sisters and a girl who was 2 years old at the time, to a workshop in Campbell Hot Springs that was led by Leonard Orr. And I got to meet him, and I got to meet Sandra Ray, and a lot of other people who had just been, studying with Babaji. And that was really, really, really exciting. And I went up to the top of a mesa in the middle of the night and sang songs of love and peace for humanity, like with a bunch of like-minded souls. And then taught us a rain dance, a shaman or a medicine man from New Mexico. And that's where I lived at the time. He taught us a rain dance.
Well, do you want to teach me it? Because I need to make it rain right here, right now.
Send you rain. I would like to send you rain. I am actually like a rain diva or something. So he taught us the rain dance, and it rained, and there was a drought going on there in Northern California that summer. It started to rain, and then it rained with our little car all the way across the Mojave Desert, because this was at the conclusion of the week-long workshop. It rained with us all the way across the desert. It rained all the way to New Mexico.
Great. Well,
everywhere we stopped, and people told us, you brought the rain. We had learned rebirthing, which is a form of breathing and meditation, and like really, really brings in a lot of light, and people remember their birth also a lot of times. I felt like I was like this high off the ground because I didn't know about grounding back then.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the beginning of so many amazing journeys. And my family and I got to be in Hands Across America and hold hands with 6 million people, raising awareness for the homeless. And that was a few years later. And this energy helped me, through all the tough times when I was having my babies and everything, the 6 babies that are now grown-ups. And I got to take my kids to national rainbow gatherings, where we got to hold hands with thousands of people and pray for peace and Om and everything. And at the rainbow gathering in New Mexico, it was raining all day, and we were asking for the rain to stop because we wanted to celebrate. And it did. And at a Woody Guthrie festival, where I wanted to see Judy Collins, and my daughter and best friend and I were there all day taking the kids to the different venues so that we could really enjoy ourselves in the evening. And people kept saying it was going to pour. And I'm like, no, it's not going to, because I got to see Judy. It started to pour in the car, and I would do this little rain dance and with my daughter and my friend, and the rain reversed. And it stopped, and it went all the way around the edges of the horizon and gave us a light show, air conditioning. The show went on. It was amazing. And it didn't start raining again until we got into our tent, and then it rained all night. I'm like, cosmic coincidences. Wow.
No. That's
those led me to this path.
Medicine woman in you, Kami, love. That's the medicine woman.
Yeah, my sister.
And at the end of the day,
you need rain. Everybody, please focus on sending rain to Cyprus.
So
my friend Maria needs rain.
We've got 4 fires, I think, going on right now all over the country.
So you've got
God.
like an Australia situation going on.
Yeah, it's not good. And last year we lost half of the biggest forest in the country. We lost half the forest last year, which was devastating for the wildlife and the ecosystems. So, yeah, we need rain. We need rain really bad right now. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I've seen the pictures from the rainbow gatherings and stuff. I'm so jealous. I'd love to go back to Mexico, and North America. It just felt like home when I was there. One day.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to come and stay with me, you know.
I know. One day. We've been saying it for years. One day. One day.
But
One
it'll
day.
happen. We'll manifest it, you know.
It will.
I plan on getting an intentional. I plan on being in an intentional community, you know, and I believe that the wave of the future. Lots of intentional communities, people who like. I want to travel around to different ones, but definitely have a home base because
yeah. And I mean, we've talked about this before, haven't we? That's been one of my dreams for years. But I'm kind of the same as you. Like I'd like to have somewhere to call a home base, but I don't really want to be static. So
don't want to be stuck there forever, but want it to, like, I would need to have somebody I could really trust to take care of my animals and my plants.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, once Louis crosses over the Rainbow Bridge, I'd be. I mean, Storm, my other dog, he can travel with me, but Louis can't. So
he's such a sweetie. I hope it's not for a long time. Such a beautiful dog.
He's my boy. Rain on Cyprus. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
Aaron's a bodhisattva.
Thank you,
boy is a
Joe.
bodhisattva. My mom took me to Guru Mai Chidbili Sananda's ashram multiple times when I was pregnant with Aaron. And I went to one Om Namah Shivaya marathon with so he was 10 pounds. He was the biggest. So that was pretty cool. But it's really amazing. I'm sorry. Go.
What number child is Aaron?
He's the third.
He's a third. So after a 10-pound baby, you still had more.
Yeah. You know, I had 4 kids, and then I had my tubes tied, and then I got them untied.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
So I went through a lot as far as that goes. I think, you know, and then I took in kids I didn't give birth to too and helped raise them. And like my son, Michael, who big shout out to him because he just helped my son, Adam, move out to California.
Nice.
Adam and Alyssa both moved out to California in the middle of a pandemic.
Wow.
Really, and they're just healing, and I'm so happy, you know. And anyway,
tell us a little bit more about the Ayurveda, Kami, before we have to close down.
Before we run out of time. So Ayurveda is the science of life. It is all about living in accordance to the laws and really, really listening to your body. Having a good routine is a really important part of it. Taking care of yourself first and then doing a little bit of yoga, even 15 minutes after the Abhyanga, which is, it really does not have to take that long. But if you have the time, if you can take longer, that's awesome. And also nausea is a little procedure of putting warm oil up your nose. And they have actually the company that sells herbal products. It's called Maharishi Ayurvedic Products International, which I've included a link down below. They have this wonderful nasal spray, and it's called PN1. And they have different types depending on what kind of issues you're dealing with, but really, really helps a lot with allergies. And you just squirt it up your nose. Mine's a little above average size, so I do like 4 on each side because I have some allergies. And then your diet, what you eat and when you eat it is extremely important. It just makes a huge difference. And so for breakfast, some stewed apples or pears are a really, really excellent idea, or soaked almonds. or like some oatmeal. Oatmeal is a very good choice for breakfast. But don't put
It's not if you're gluten intolerant like me though.
right. Then you would want to choose
Yeah.
something else, or
Yeah.
gluten-free flatbread. Or can you have grits? I'm a little bit gluten intolerant too, so I'm drawn to grits. I like grits a lot, and I put a little
What
ghee in there.
what
And
a
that
great.
makes, Oh, what are grits? Oh, it's like hominy.
It's
It's
like
sort of
what?
like cream of wheat. It's like hominy. It's like cream of wheat, but made from corn, made from white corn.
Oh,
We eat
I
it a
don't know.
lot here in Oklahoma, grits.
I don't know.
Also,
I've heard of it before on movies and things, but I actually don't know what it is. So I'll have
yeah,
to Google it.
it's a lot like cream of wheat or cream of rice, but cream of corn. But it doesn't
Okay.
taste like creamed corn at all. You know, it's way different. It's yummy. It's really good.
Yeah.
And so our main meal should be at noon, and it would be best for it to consist of cooked vegetables with a little bit of dal and rice. And if you are still eating meat, which I'm still working on that, it's a process, and I'm raising my grandkids, so I bless the meat. That's the time that you
You
should
don't
have
need
it.
to make excuses, Cami. Just leave it at it's a process.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
It's a process. You don't want to
Yeah.
do it too suddenly, because it can actually throw your body into shock, same as
Yeah.
quitting cigarettes.
Absolutely.
If you do it too suddenly, any bad habit that you stop too suddenly can actually put your body into shock. And one
Yeah.
of the reasons, it's because of this phenomenon that the Sanskrit name for it is okasatmya, which means it's like as if it's good for you. So it's like somebody that's used to just eating like chicken and something else all the time, and that's all they eat. Like their body thinks that it is good for them in a way, like even though it
Yeah.
isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's kind of
because
like a
it's like
reverse
comfort.
placebo.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
for each dosha type, different tastes are either pacifying or can be aggravating, depending on how much you have of them. And so for vata, the dry foods and bitter foods, pungent foods and astringent foods, if you have too many of those, can be aggravating. And for pitta, sour foods and spicy foods can be aggravating. And for kapha, like the heavy foods and sweet foods, too much sweet can be aggravating. Whereas if you're a vata person, the sweet foods can be pacifying. And for pitta, the cooling foods that are aggravating for vata and kapha are pacifying, because pitta is fire and water. So for a person that like me, having vata and pitta like fighting for attention and everything, I have to balance things out. So I will use a little bit of lemon ginger pickle to spark my digestion, because it gets slowed
Yeah.
down as a vata person and irregular appetite. But then sometimes my appetite can be really great, which is a pitta quality.
Yeah.
Pitta is hungry. They are hungry,
That
hungry.
sounds like me.
And when they haven't eaten, they get hangry.
Angry. Yeah.
Yeah, so aloe vera is soothing for pitta. If you have too much ginger, that's going to aggravate the pitta. So
Yeah.
I get two different kinds of spices, pitta churna and vata churna, and I use the vata in the evening and for noon. But like both of them have some of the similar herbs, like coriander and cumin and turmeric. They just have different amounts of them. So like you want things that are a little bit more heating for the vata, but more cooling for the pitta. And the wonderful thing about Ayurveda is it like keeps teaching me more and more about the medicinal spices and things like that are right on hand that I can use. I have in my medicine cabinet and in my little apothecary to heal myself and help my family. Um,
Yeah.
like
I
garlic
use
is really
turmeric a
great for the
lot.
immune system.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
use turmeric,
I'm sorry.
turmeric in just about everything.
It is.
But because of the arthritis in my fingers, so I use turmeric. I only use about a quarter of a teaspoon, but it's there.
I keep adding it to my cooking. My son is asking a question about almond milk, and I used to
Yeah.
use that as a substitute quite a bit, but right now I'm not. I'm using coconut milk as my substitute for cow milk, which in Ayurveda, cow milk is organic raw cow milk is very, very healing. I'm currently recovering from the stupid cigarettes and all that, and so I have too much mucus in my body to go back to having my organic cow milk in the morning. So I'm doing the coconut milk for now. I'm not doing the almond milk because that the production of almonds has gone up so much that it's killing the bees, and I don't want to contribute to that because I love the bees, you know. So I'm not going to be drinking the almond milk.
Unless like I've got an almond.
Yeah, but I was drinking it all the time, you know.
I've got an almond tree in the garden.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't produce any almonds. It flowers every year, but then it might produce about 4 almonds.
Oh, 4? That's not going to make very much almond milk.
No, but I was like hoping it would produce this year so that I can make my own almond milk, you know.
If you make your own, it'll be a lot healthier. That's what my Bija was talking about too, because they add thickeners and things, and some of those thickeners might not be very healthy for us, and that's important to know.
In the UK, I used to make my own nut milks, but over here, nuts are really expensive to buy. So, and you know, to buy the nut milk itself is really expensive as well. So, it's just they don't make it easy for people.
I want to make oat milk because it seems like that. I like the way it tastes, and that would be more affordable because oats are not that expensive. But there is some gluten in oats, huh?
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
You've got a question from somebody. I don't know who they are.
They said if you're constantly seeking bitter tastes, what might you be then? Most likely you're Vata, because the tastes that are aggravating for your dosha are also the ones that you like the most. And that's like, I love spicy food, but if I eat too much spicy food, it's going to mess me up. Weetabix? I don't know what Weetabix is. Lots for breakfast? What is Weetabix?
Is, I've seen it in America, but I can't remember what it's called.
The type of cereal, is it like...
It's a cereal, and it's in little bars like this, and it's made of wheat.
Like shredded wheat? Like they...
No, not shredded wheat, no. They're in like little briquettes like this. They taste gorgeous, but the wheat, it's not really good for you at all. But
unless it's totally whole grain, which is what my parents always used to get for me when I was a little kid, but I don't even know. I mean, I know that a lot of it's GMO nowadays too, you know?
Yeah. Oh, so, George has obviously got a good constitution. I can't eat Weetabix anymore. Yeah, I mean, Kami, if you go onto the YouTube, sorry, Kami, we're talking over each other. I'm just telling people that on the YouTube, if you look at the information on YouTube, did you do it on the YouTube or did you just do it on the event? Kami's added a quiz where you can check what you are, and because that's where I got my Vata from.
Yes.
Is it on the YouTube video? If not, I'll add it afterwards. If it's not on the YouTube, I'll add it afterwards.
Okay.
Quiz.
I'm going to take pictures of these charts I have on clearing and balancing your chakras.
Okay.
And on and this other one on the incenses and essential oils that are good for each chakra, just as additional gift for our viewers.
Oh, thank you. That would be lovely. So before we wrap up, Kami, can you give us 3 tips on how to survive lockdown?
Okay. 3 tips for surviving lockdown is really take good care of ourselves. Take care of yourself. And remember to take care of yourself first. And then another tip is really cut down on the news. Cut down on that news. I have myself I'm only allowing myself like 1 hour, and I'm not watching it except for maybe some little clips, and maybe through the lens of a comedian like Trevor Noah or someone like that, because that helps to make it less scary. And if we're coming from a place of fear, that's going to lower our immune systems.
Absolutely.
So bringing in that light and staying grounded and walking barefoot on the earth as much as possible, wherever possible, walking barefoot on the earth, soaking in that sun to bring in the vitamin D, to strengthen the immune system, and having the main meal at lunch, drinking plenty of good spring water or at least filtered water, and listening to healing frequencies is one of the things that I really enjoy doing to help me. Gandharva rain music is the Maharishi Ayurvedic wellness music that I really love, and I'll put a link for one of those songs in down below after the show.
Thank you for that. That'll be brilliant. Has anybody got any more questions for Kami before we wrap up? George, you haven't seen it yet. I think it's on the invite. I can't remember if I put it on the YouTube or not. If not, I'll put it on the YouTube as well. Because obviously now it's over, the invite will be dismissed, but the everything's will be still there on the YouTube channel for people.
Yeah.
But if anybody's got any questions, you can always contact Kami afterwards as well. And thank you all for being with us today. It's been a bit of a weirdy one, sat outside being attacked by flies, but
Bless your heart. If anybody can make a donation to Barefoot Holistics to help Maria, because she is putting on this show without very much support or no support, and she is a warrior goddess, and she could really use this assistance right now, and I would really appreciate any help anybody can give to help keep this show alive. And
bless you, Kami. Thank you.
I really appreciate you, and thank you so very much for creating this sacred space.
I appreciate you as well, Kami. And you know, I keep telling people I'm a good little servant. I just do what my guides tell me to do. And you know, it was a big experience for me doing this, pushing my boundaries. And it's been really interesting how many people have been on and like, oh, I'm so scared, I've not done this before, you know. And it's all about pushing boundaries, and I think that's fantastic, especially at this time when everyone's isolating, you know, and going inwards.
Yes.
So to be able to push those boundaries in this way even is fantastic.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you as well, Mika.
It's helping us empower ourselves because we are needed, and we have been through so much to help prepare us for these times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is a time for us to share our wisdom, Maria.
I know. Gina said to me that Gina, one of my other friends, was going to do a live at some point, said to me, who's going to interview you? I said, nobody. I'm all right, sat here hosting. There you go, hand it to you. But no, I don't want to do that side of it. Thank you.
I hope that the weather gets better right away, because this is too hard for you to do it this way. And I love you so much, Maria.
I know, I love you too. Thank you, Mika. We're waiting for the rain. Right, it's time to leave, unfortunately. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video, share the videos, comment on the videos, whatever to the videos. But please show some love and support to Kami. Her website is on the information. If anybody wants to check her out there, then please do. Next Monday, what have we got next Monday? Next Monday, we've got Christian doing sound healing, which should be really interesting. Didgeridoos and shamanic drums and all sorts, singing bowls. So
nice.
Yeah, raise the vibrations. Yeah, so I hope some of you can make it. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. You're welcome, Kathy.
I've learned a lot. Thank you, Kami and Mia. Thank you for all you do. Keep us together and keeping us safe. Love you. Love you too, babes. And on Wednesday evening, I'm supposed to be running a shamanic journey, but I'm not sure that I'm going to do it in this heat. I don't know. We'll see.
I want I wanted to come, but I'm going to be in clinical intensives for the next 2 weeks. So
That's
I would
fine.
have to
Don't
wait
worry
until
about
after
it.
that. And then we see how I usually have
Yeah,
class
yeah.
that night is my problem, but my semester's almost over. So then I will be
I
able to.
know. We'll have a chat anyway when we're all done.
Okay.
Thank you again, everybody. Namaste, Kami. Love you
Namaste.
loads, sister. Namaste, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye.